what is up everyone, we're back again with another video. Today I'm going to be answering all my subscribers' questions that they sent in on my 700 subs celebratory video, if you like. I'd just like to say thank you so much to everyone who did send in some questions, because it gives me this video to do. I'm really excited to do it. And everyone who wrote underneath or commented underneath saying congratulations on 700 and stuff like that, you know, it really did mean a lot. They don't go unnoticed. Thank you so much, everyone. Without you lot, I don't have a channel, so thank you so much. And I didn't expect to get this many questions, but I got quite a few to answer here, so we'll just get into it. I just want to say before I do, if there's any YouTubers who've asked me a question, the link to their channel will be down below. And when I read a question out, I will say if they're a YouTuber or not. Please go down below and subscribe to them and give them a bit of support as well. So let's just get on with it, with the first question. And this is from a YouTuber. And this is JT at the Movies. His name is James. Great channel. You know, love your stuff you do, mate. Really enjoyed your top 10 horror movies the other day. And he asks, what movie... I do have the iPad here just to let you know. What movie finally made you take the plunge and review it? Well, James, I had plans to do a YouTube channel for a while there, and it just so happened to be the first movie that I seen when I started my YouTube channel. So basically I didn't have plans to review this. It just, at the time of starting my YouTube channel, this was the first movie I went to see, and I thought, why not, let's just review this one. And that is Jojo Rabbit, and still to this day remains one of my highest scored movies. I think it's the first review I ever done, and I don't advise you to go and watch it. It's all in one take, and I'm not very good on the camera there. However, this movie will always mean something to me because it was the first movie I ever reviewed, so it's got to mean something. Sorry, I'm just putting them down there when I'm finished with them. He also asks, what's your favourite sequel and prequel? So my favourite sequel of all time is The Godfather Part 2. I think it's probably the best movie ever made, so that has to be the best sequel. And I think sequels do get a bit of hate sometimes when they don't need to. I mean, some of the best sequels I've ever seen are some of the best movies I've seen. So like The Dark Knight, Aliens, Terminator 2. There's a lot of good sequels out there that, you know, I think we're putting that myth to bed a little bit now. Okay, mostly the original is better, but there is a lot of good sequels out there. But The Godfather 2, definitely the best sequel of all time for me. So some prequels that I enjoy, I haven't got these Blu-rays out, I'll just name them because there's quite a few. Temple of Doom, if that counts. That's a movie that, you know, I used to rewatch over and over as a kid. And it doesn't actually say in the movie anywhere along the story that it's a prequel, but it does at the very start of the film say it's taken place a year before Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I suppose it counts as a prequel, but I don't know. Maybe I'm cheating a little bit there. However, I do have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. It's the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the prequel movie to that one. And I actually think it's better than the remake. I was so surprised at that film. I thought it was brilliant. And another one is X-Men First Class, which is... I'm not the biggest X-Men fan in the world, but I think that's probably my favourite X-Men film, and that is a prequel. I think, or a bit of both, is it? That might be Days of Future Past. But there's definitely younger versions of the characters in there, and I thought it was a brilliant film. Good idea. So, he does have one more question, actually, and that is, what film do you recommend as an underrated masterpiece? Well, I do have another question like this down the line, which is an underrated gem. However, I've got two different answers for that. So my underrated masterpiece is Dead Man's Shoes. Now, I know a lot of people from Britain, or the UK if you like, have seen this and are aware of how good it is. However, I do actually think it's one of the greatest films of all time. And there was a lot of people on social media the other day who said they hadn't seen it. So maybe I'm thinking that a lot of people have seen it when they really haven't. I just know a lot of people I know have seen it. But it's a masterpiece by Paddy Considine. I think I put it in my top 25 movies of all time. It was number 24, I think. This has to be watched to appreciate how good it actually is. Basically a revenge movie, but it's so good. It was made for less than £1 million, and it's better than most movies or some movies that cost 50 million or 100 million to make. It's amazing. So, underrated masterpiece, definitely Dead Man's Shoes. So, thanks for that, James. Don't forget to check his channel out. Another subscriber with 2 questions here. This is Daryl Haynes, who's been part of my channel for quite a while now. So, thank you, Daryl, for sending in these 2 questions. He's not a YouTuber, he's just a subscriber. But he asked me to do a reaction video on the Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins trailer. Now, I didn't quite know how to put videos on my channel there, but I've just figured out a way to do it. So I might do trailer reactions in future. However, the boat had sort of sailed with this one. So, yeah. But I will tell you what I thought of it now. So, Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins, what do I think of the trailer? I actually think it might be pretty good, to be honest. Vinnie Jones is in there, which is a bit of a strange one. Didn't see that coming. Looks like, I don't know, but it looks like he might actually be worse than Pat Tate and Tony Tucker going by this trailer. But I've only seen it twice. I'd have to see it again. But he looks like he's going to be a good character. The only thing that puts me off is that this is a prequel to Rise of the Foot Soldier, I believe. And they look older than they do in that movie. Because 15 years or something have passed. So that's a little bit of a concern. But I am looking forward to it. I don't think it can be any worse than the second one, because I wasn't a fan of that at all. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. I will definitely review that on the channel. And he also asks, I'm also glad it's going back to Essex, because we've had a couple on the tropical island now, especially that last one. But are you into Dr. Dre? If so, what's your favourite album of his? Well, that's funny you should say that, Daryl, because yes, I am into Dr. Dre. He's my favourite rapper ever, and 2001, Dr. Dre Chronic 2001 is probably my favourite album of all time. It's like you know me, man. So, yeah, I am a big fan of Dr. Dre and Dre 2001. Thank you, Daryl. Rachel Cotgrave, my friend from Twitter, she's a fellow Evertonian. I'm an Everton fan, by the way, if you didn't know. I'm into football as well. So, Rachel, thank you so much for sending in this question. Is there a movie that made you fall in love with movies? Well, yes, there is. Now, I used to watch like a lot of family-orientated films when I was a kid, and my mum and dad once let me watch a more adult film, which is Terminator 2, and I was absolutely blown away by this. It was the first time my mum and dad had ever seen it as well. I remember watching it with them, and they were just... jaws were dropping when they were watching this film, and so was mine. And I was only like 6 or 7 or something, and I was just blown away by this. I didn't know movies were like this, so I just, yeah, since then I think I fell in love with film, because it was like a new path that I hadn't seen before. Terminator 2 definitely made me fall in love with movies. I think I liked them anyway, but this made me fall in love, really. So there you go. Roy Barrett says, thank you, Roy. Thank you, Rachel, for sending that question in. Now, Roy Barrett, another subscriber of mine who's quite, friends on my Facebook as well. My dream Blu-ray release would be Billy Wilder film, The Spirit of St. Louis. What would yours be? I've got to be honest, Roy, I have not seen that movie, mate, but I will try and get round to watching it now that you've said that. I've got a few questions coming along like this, but I've sort of split the answers to try and make sense of them, because they are slightly different questions. But my dream Blu-ray release, well, I'll go for movies that haven't been released in the UK. So I would like Arrow to do both of these. And one of them is The Hitcher. I do own it on Blu-ray, but it's a German digibook. So I would buy the Arrow release, because I think they do a really good job of that. And the other one would be the Critters collection from Arrow. Now, I'm a big fan of the Critters movies. Why they haven't released that yet, I don't know. But I would love Arrow to get hold of that and release it here as a 4-movie pack. Or I think there's 5 movies now. That'd be great. So thank you, Roy, for the question. Next up is Leon Talks Film. Now, he is a fellow YouTuber, great channel, buys lots of Blu-rays, does lots of Blu-ray updates. So yeah, really only started watching him recently, and I watch most of his videos now, if not all of them. Leon Talks Film asks, what is your dream boutique Blu-ray release? It can be one that's never been released before, or it can be one that's had a less than stellar release. Well, my dream Blu-ray release would have been this. However, it's a RoboCop special box set. However, it has been released now. So my dream boutique Blu-ray release is probably going to be this movie. And it is one that's been released in the UK, but it's never had a big box or, you know, a big special edition, really. And that is Fargo. I don't know why, I just have this weird obsession with this movie. I just think it's amazing, and I even had, like, I'll show you something else now that I've got ready. This is how much I love this film. I always wanted this poster in my room, and my fiance finally got me for Christmas because I wanted it for so long. I'm gonna put this up in the movie room soon, but I just would love a big box set of this, and, you know, a big special edition with a booklet and stuff, and this cover. It's probably my favourite movie poster of all time. I even had this as my screensaver at one point. So it's one of my favourite films, not the best film I've ever seen or anything, but I would love a big, nice, special boutique release of this. If that's what you mean by boutique, you know, like a big special edition or something, Fargo is the answer, my friend. So thank you so much, Leon Talks Film. Check his channel out. Mark Holding, hello Mark, asks, what is your most watched Blu-ray in your collection and why? Well, it's this one again. Sorry about that, just bear with me. It's Terminator 2 again. Now, my most watched movie of all time is probably RoboCop. However, as a Blu-ray out of my collection, it's this one, because sometimes I just throw it on to have in the background. If I come in from a night out and I just want to put a movie on to fall asleep to, I always pick this. I always come in here and intend to throw something else on, but I don't. I always go with this. And I remember when I first moved out of my house when I was like 21. I only lasted about 3 months or something and went back to my mum's. But I remember I lived with this girl. She was only a friend, you know, it was just a roommate. But I remember for a whole week that time I was there, I just sat and watched this every single night for a whole week. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird experience. I just put it on Blu-ray, put the Blu-ray in the player, Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday. I just watched it every night for a week. I don't know why, I just loved the film to death. So yeah, my most watched Blu-ray is probably Terminator 2. My most watched film of all time is probably RoboCop. So if that makes sense. Kermit's Ghost, another great YouTuber, great channel. Please check him out. Always has to have a coffee of a morning. I just have to have a coffee before I've done this as well, Alan, but there you go. If I could interview one actor, past or present, who would it be and why? Well, that's an easy answer for me, my friend. That is Arnold Schwarzenegger, my first real, you know, hero from movies or TV, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was always fascinated by his films. I just love them. I just think he's got this charisma and personality, and I'd really like to meet the guy. You know, I'd probably be starstruck and not be able to get my words out, but he is the Terminator. Why would I want to interview anyone else? So, Arnold Schwarzenegger, good question, Alan. And he also asks, if they made a movie about me, who would I want to play me? I went with Tom Holland here. Maybe because he has the same build as me and he's round the same age. Okay, he's 6 years younger, let's be honest. Actually, no, he's 8. I'm thinking I'm 30 there. But probably Tom Holland. I like him as an actor. I think he's a great actor. So, Tom Holland. Thank you so much, Alan, or otherwise known as Kermit's Ghost. Alex Pitt, another great YouTuber. Recently come across his channel about a month ago or something. Sometimes speak to him over Instagram. Nice lad. Check his channel out, Alex Pitt. I hope my question isn't too personal, but how long have you and your fiance been together and where did you meet? Well, it's not too personal, Alex. Any question here is welcome, so don't worry about that. I've been with my how long have you and your fiance? Sorry, I didn't know if it said how long have you been engaged. I've been with my fiancée Samantha for 7 years nearly in May, and we met because my best friend, his wife, is best friends with Sam, and she said, I think she'd be good for you, and set me up, and we went on a date. From there, we just hit it off, and on our second date, we went on like a double date with them two, you know, my best friend and his wife, and we had a great time. And then third date came, and then just went from there, really. So yeah, nearly 7 years, and she has been very, very supportive of me on this channel, and yeah, I owe her a lot. She's very patient with me. She doesn't mind me making these videos and leaving her downstairs like I've done now. So Samantha, if you're watching, which I know you are, thank you very much. And he also asks, favourite and least favourite genre. Well, my favourite genre is horror. It's always infatuated me. Now, I know Terminator 2 probably made me fall in love with films, but I had that feeling all over again when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I finally watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was just, that was it. I wanted to see every horror movie out there. I was fascinated, and I love it to this day. I know it's not really a genre where some of the best movies ever made are in there, although there is quite a few, but compared to some other genres, I get that. However, I just love it. I will watch anything horror. So yeah, my least favourite genre, it's probably musicals or romance. Now, my fiance absolutely loves musicals, and I don't mind the Wizard of Oz and stuff, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, stuff like that, with a bit of a story that I'm into, but if it's stuff like Mamma Mia or something, I'm not really going to be too interested in watching it. However, I will give every movie a chance. And I don't mind rom-coms, to be honest, but if it's full-on romance films, like Gone with the Wind, which I've never seen, to be fair, I would give it a chance. Not really going to interest me, to be honest there. So thanks so much, Alex, for the questions. Check his channel out. Links down below to all these channels, don't forget. Horror Hands, hello Bryn, love your channel, my friend. You know, you've been subscribed for a long time now, and I do appreciate it. I love your channel, mate. What movie do you not own but really want in your collection? And this is kind of like the other questions, isn't it? Actually, it's not, don't worry about that. What movie do you not own but really want in your collection? Now, I've had these two on my list for quite a while now, and I just haven't bit the bullet and bought them. But I've gone with one TV show and one movie. So the movie I'd like to own is actually the Harry Potter 4K box set. The reason for that is I've never seen them all. I've only seen the first three, and I'd like to watch them all. I think I'd have a lot of fun with them films, and I've got like quite a bit of, you know, savings in my Amazon account, so I could just go and buy it now. But I don't know why I haven't. I really should. And the other one is Twin Peaks. Now, I've heard rumblings that there's going to be a 4K release of this, so I'm sort of holding off on that one. However, there is a lovely box set out there now. It goes for like £100 on Amazon. And I've never seen this show, and I'm a big David Lynch fan. Well, I wouldn't say big, but I've finally got into him just a couple of years ago, and I've loved nearly every film I've watched by him. I think he's a masterful director, and my friend Kyle said I would love this. So it's between them two. I would really like to own both of them. Thanks so much, Bryn, for the question. Pete Cahill, one of my subscribers, fellow Evertonian, he's asked 3 questions. My favourite movie. Now, I do think there's a difference between best and favourite. Like I said, The Godfather 2 is the best film I've ever seen. However, for favourite and rewatchability, like Terminator 2, and I've mentioned in the video, is RoboCop. I have seen this movie over 150 times, maybe even 200. I know every word to it. I was doing it with my friends in work the other day, actually. I said, pick a scene, any scene you want on YouTube, pick anywhere you want in the video, and I'll say the next word. And I got it right each time, so they thought it was a funny little talent to have, so there you go. My favourite singer, this was the hardest question out of all of them, I'm not going to lie, because my favourite group or artist is The Levellers, which is a band that not many people have heard of. However, they're amazing and very underappreciated. So the singer out of them is Mark Chadwick, so I'd probably say him. However, I do think Freddie Mercury overall is probably the best. If, you know, my heart says Mark Chadwick, but my mind tells me it's probably Freddie Mercury. Excellent frontman, just a brilliant voice. And I only really got into them when I watched Bohemian Rhapsody a couple of years ago. That's when I started listening to Queen properly, and I just think they're brilliant. And Freddie Mercury, what a voice he's got. So it's out of them too. So that is Mark Chadwick from the group The Levellers, and Freddie Mercury from Queen, of course. And he also asks, who's your favourite Everton player? His is Tim Cahill. Well, guess what, Pete? So is mine. Tim Cahill is my favourite Everton player of all time, and also Duncan Ferguson. However, you would like to pick me a present day player, it would probably be Luca Dean or James Rodriguez. Out of them two, I think Lucas Dean's a fabulous left back. So thanks so much, Pete, for the questions. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Bushman Blue, another... Ooh, sorry about that. I've just lost the Pete. There we go. Bushman Blue, another great YouTuber. I think he's from Liverpool, where I'm from. Yeah, he is. So, do you like classic horror, and what is your favourite? 50s, 60s, 70s, and he loves British Hammer. Yes, I did ask him what he meant, and in the reply he said from the 50s, 60s or 70s. So yes, I do like classic horror if you're talking about them genres. Psycho, Rosemary's Baby, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my favourite horror film of all time. So yeah, I do like classic horror. I haven't seen too many of the British Hammer horrors, to be honest, I'm not going to lie. I've heard they're really good, but my mum used to love them, but I've never really got around to watching them. I did actually, these are probably from an earlier era, but I did actually watch the Universal Monster movies last year, and I got into them quite a bit. Really like The Invisible Man and The Wolfman, they were great. And Frankenstein, pretty good movie. So thank you so much, Bushman Blue. His link will be down below. Blu-ray collector, hello my friend. Just recently watched your pickup video. Great channel, check them out. Any YouTubers that inspired me to create my own channel? Well, yes, there is. Now, I've mentioned them a couple of times in my gaming videos, but Dean Thompson from the channel, Vinny Corleone 92, I will leave that down below as well. I was always watching his videos for years. I couldn't stop watching the guy. Every time he put a video up, it'd be like an hour long, and I'd watch every second of it. Okay, some of them were like 30 minutes as well, but I'd watch every video. If I went on YouTube and he put a video up, I wouldn't have to look anywhere else. I'd look at Dean Thompson's video. So I just really like the guy. He stays very grounded on YouTube, and it's a bit of inspiration I've tried to take. That's why he feels it's important to reply to all your subscribers, and I totally agree with him. So I will always try and reply to everyone. But he knows his gaming and stuff. He speaks from the heart, Dean, so he's a big inspiration for me. Brilliant YouTuber, very underrated channel. Subscribe to him if you like gaming, trust me. And the other guy is Cody Leach, who's quite big on YouTube now. I think he's just hit 50,000 subscribers. I will watch the Nightmare on Elm Street movies about 3 or 4 years ago. And yeah, about 3 years ago, and I just thought, I wonder if there's a review on these, and I was only like really getting into the world of YouTube then, and I typed in Nightmare on Elm Street review, and Cody Leach had them all the reviews on there. I watched the first one, and I really enjoyed it, and I watched all 7 of them, and then I watched the Freddy vs Jason and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake review by him. I sat there for about 2 hours just watching these reviews, and he was sort of the push that I needed, because I was like, I can do this. You know, I can review films, you know. And he was just like into all horror that I was into and stuff. So yeah, I'd say Cody Leach and Dean Thompson from Vinny Corleone 62. I will leave both their channel links down below. Is there any film you loved a lot when I was younger, but not so much as an adult? This is a second question. Well, this was a hard one, but I recently watched The Blank Check on Disney Plus, and I did used to watch this all the time as a kid. However, when I see it through an adult's eyes, it was kind of weird. There's a little bit of a love story going on between this 11-year-old kid and this like 28-year-old woman, and the movie sort of lets the viewer know that this could actually happen and go somewhere, and it was really weird. However, I didn't. That aside, I thought the kid was way more annoying. Like, Preston Waters, I just thought he was more annoying as an adult, and I never really got onto that as a kid, so I didn't hate it, but I don't love it as much as I did when I was younger, put it that way. And the third question he asks, is there a film that nobody talks about but is a hidden gem? And that's kind of like the Dead Man's Shoes one. But Dead Man's Shoes to me is an underrated masterpiece. But this is not so much a masterpiece, but it's a hidden gem for sure. And that is Frailty, one of the most underrated films ever. I love this film. It's basically about this guy who, it's directed by Bill Paxton and stars Bill Paxton. And he basically sees a vision at work. This angel comes to visit him at work while he's under this car repairing it. And he goes home and tells his two sons that he was visited by an angel. And this angel has said, you need to do God's work by slaying these demons that inhabit Earth. But they're disguised as humans, so they'd look like a regular person. And one of the sons believes him and is up for it, and the other one just thinks he's totally gone crazy. And they go out and start, you know what, maybe, you know, killing people and stuff. And you don't quite know whose side to get on, who to believe. And the ending to this film is one of the best endings of all time. It's an amazing movie. I highly recommend this to anyone. This is a Region A release, which I could have answered this actually for a Region B release for like an Arrow, you know, what movies would I like released? Probably put that alongside the Hitch and stuff if you want a UK version. But I'm happy to own this. This is one of the few times I will get a Region A release because it's just so damn good. Definitely check this out, everyone. Trust me. So thank you so much, Blu-ray collector. Next up we have Tony's Arts and Movies. Alright, Tony, fellow Scouser like myself. Not so much a question, but I would like to see you go in depth on RoboCop, as I think you said it's your favourite movie. It's one of mine too, an outstanding film. Well, Tony, my answer to that is one day, my friend, I will definitely review that on the channel, but I just don't know if I'm ready for giving that movie the video it deserves. I do want to try and get better at editing and stuff, and I would like to write a perfect script for that and stuff. So one day I will review that on the channel for sure. I just don't know if now is the time. Hopefully my channel may grow a little bit and I'll do it then. But there's a lot of films that I'm saving a little bit, but I'm starting to get into the, you know, I'm starting to think about reviewing more of my favourite films now anyway. However, I'm going to save RoboCop a little bit longer. But that is the answer to your non-question, if you like. Thanks, Tony. Check him out, fellow YouTuber. Tom180, favourite directors. Hello, Tom. Sorry, I should have said hello, Tom, before the question there. Tom has been with me from the start. He sent me some subscriber mail a few months ago, and it was great. You know, Tom, you have been a big supporter of me, my friend. Of course, I am going to answer your questions. To be honest, I'm answering everyone's questions, but favourite directors, well, I picked 5 here, Tom, and that is Quentin Tarantino, of course, the best ever. Don't care what anyone says. Overrated? No, he's not. David Lynch, finally got into him a couple of years ago, like I said. Martin Scorsese, everyone loves Martin Scorsese. Alfred Hitchcock, really appreciate his movies, think he was a great director for the time especially. And David Fincher, I think, yeah, David Fincher. 7, Fight Club, Social Network, you name it. That man is a great director. So he also has some films that everyone seems to love, but I don't, and vice versa. A lot of people might turn a video off here, but some films that everyone loves, but I don't. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Found it very, very boring. I did appreciate the cinematography and the filmmaking of that, but I just was really bored watching that film. And I know I'm going to have to rewatch it because it's considered one of the best ever. But the other one is Star Wars. Now, look, I do like Star Wars. I think they're great, but I don't love it as much as a lot of other people. I just think they're good movies. However, The Mandalorian, I've just finished season 2, is starting to make me want to revisit them films. And maybe this time something will connect with me that didn't quite connect with me the first time like it did to others. I hope it does, because I do appreciate they are well-made films and stuff, but I've just never got it on the same connection level as a lot of people. But I do think they're good movies. I just don't love them as much as other people. And movies that everyone hates, but I don't. Well, there's one from last year, and that was The Babysitter Killer Queen. I had so much fun with that film. Why it got so much hate, I don't know. I just had fun with it. I thought it was a funny little, just a fun ride. Robocop 3, mainly due to the fact that I love Robocop 1 and 2. And I don't hate the third as much as some people say. Some people say it's the worst film of all time and stuff. I don't agree with that. It's a fun movie, even though the violence and stuff is toned down. And another one is Terminator Dawn of Fate. If you can ignore the first 5 minutes, it's a good film. It had the best villain since Terminator 2. I enjoyed Terminator Dawn of Fate. Definitely the best one since Terminator 2. And he also asked, some films on Blu-ray you'd like to be released. Which is... Yeah, Sorry. I was making sure I was still on Tom there. Yeah, I am. Some films on Blu-ray you'd like to see released. Well, this goes with some of the other questions, doesn't it? But I've named some others here. Some honourable mentions, if you like. One of them is Turbulence. That's a movie I used to watch all the time. And then on VHS, starring Ray Liotta. And it all takes place on a plane where they're transferring these 2 prisoners on death row. Problem Child 1, 2 and 3, I'd like to see them released. I used to love them films as a kid, and they're kind of weird, the tone of them films. They're like for kids, but for adults as well. It's weird. The Page Master, another movie I used to love as a kid. I would like to see that released. And another one is Love, Honor and Obey, a pretty underrated gangster movie, British gangster film with Ray Winstone in. I thought that was really good. So there's some more movies on Blu-ray that I would like released. Thanks, Tom. Oh, and he also says 4th, not Arsenal. Yeah, maybe next season, mate, or maybe you'll pick it up this half of the season. Let's hope so, eh? Just don't get too close to Everton. Okay, Nikki Thompson. Hello, Nikki. Says, what TV shows do you like? Well, Nikki, I've named a few here. My favourite TV show ever is 24. I just think it's absolutely masterful. It was the first real TV show I watched, and to this day, nothing is better there. Some things have come close, but it's just amazing. It's 10 out of 10 TV. Jack Bauer is a 10 out of 10 TV character. The best TV character of all time, in my opinion. So, 24. I've also put Fargo, which is the most underrated TV show out there, I feel. I love it to death. I know there's a season 4 on HBO Max. I wish they'd hurry up and release it here in the UK. Game of Thrones, of course. The Mandalorian really surprised me that, you know, I've loved every episode of it. It's great. Black Mirror is another one. Just like sort of short movies each episode, but they're not connected, but they're all good. There wasn't one episode I didn't like. Definitely check Black Mirror out. Thank you so much, Nikki. Carlini09, hello Carl, my good friend. Another YouTuber. First movie I ever watched. Well, I touched on this in my Christmas top 10 list. I think it was The Muppet Christmas Carol, because my dad took me to see it at a very young age, and I do remember snippets of it at the cinema. He said it was one of his favourite Christmas moments from his life, which is great. So The Muppet Christmas Carol. I do remember a week later as well, my Auntie Leah, or Boo as I call her, her nickname's Boo, took me to see Honey, I Blew Up the Kid with my cousin Vicky as well, and I remember that vaguely as well. So they're the first 2 movies I went to see at the cinema, and the first 2 real memories of movies. So yeah, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid and The Muppets Christmas Carol. 2 movies I don't own on Blu-ray because they're not released here in the UK. Oh yeah, actually they have just released The Muppet Christmas Carol, I believe, in a box set with like 5 of the Muppets movies, which I'll have to grab. He also says, what is the worst movie I have ever watched? Well, I've given 3 here, Carl. Now, these 2 I sadly own. Island of Death, which is an Arrow release, and Batman vs Superman. Now, one of these cost about £200 or something to make, and this one cost millions. And it's just weird that the budgets of these films are opposite ends of the spectrum, yet they're probably 2 of the worst films I've ever seen. I don't like this movie at all. I'm not looking forward to revisiting it when I do my Batman franchise, which will happen one day. And this was just pretty Yeah. They just go on a killing spree on some island. Sounds good on paper, but it's not. It's really not. This was just a mess. However, the worst movie I have ever seen is a film called Zombies, with a Z on the end. Look, I don't want to hate on it too much because it's more of an independent film, but the zombies run from police officers. Tells you everything you need to know. It was pretty bad, and it is available to watch for free on YouTube if you search it. So, thank you, Carl, for the questions. Noble the Savage, what is the best movie based on a video game, and what is the worst, vice versa? Well, the best movies that are based on video games, well, the best one is this. And it's Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. Pretty good. If you like Street Fighter 2 at all, definitely watch this. It's brilliant, and it's aimed towards adults. It's great. It's got some great music and stuff. However, I do think you probably want a live action version answer there, and that is Mortal Kombat. Probably one of the first out there, and to this day, 25 years or something, it is still the best. Really looking forward to the new Mortal Kombat. I'm going to try and do a trailer reaction for that. That's probably going to be my first trailer reaction, but I hope it's going to be good. But this was really good. I could watch this right now and still enjoy it, I feel. So I might do a cinema revisited episode on this when Mortal Kombat, the new one, releases, or near the release time. But I really enjoyed this. The worst video game movie is definitely going to be the second one to Mortal Kombat. Well, the sequel to this is pretty bad. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. We also have Super Mario Brothers, which was terrible. And this is pretty damn bad. That is the Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. Don't recommend it whatsoever. And it's weird because Oz of American Pie is in this. Forgot his name. Is it Chris something? And we also have the guy off the Green Mile in this as well as Balrog. Forgot his name. I'm really sorry, but yeah, it's not a good film at all. Don't watch it. Now, the best video games based on movies for me is Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay on the Xbox, the original Xbox. I don't own it, but I do have it on the Chronicles of Riddick for the 360 that came with the game as a little download feature. I remember loving that game. I thought it was brilliant. Definitely the best thing out of the whole Riddick series for me. And the worst would be Terminator 2 on the SNES. For such a good movie, they messed that game up so bad, from what I remember. And the last question here is Jordan Anderton. What is your favourite gangster film? Well, Jordan, that would be The Godfather 2, of course, and The Godfather. Also Goodfellas. They're my top 3 gangster movies. If any of you like gangster films, I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Tony, who answered the question before, The Sinister Art of Movies. We're going to be doing a collaboration on gangster films, so look out for that. That'll be on the channel over the weekend, hopefully. I just want to say thank you so much, everyone who sent in some questions there, who commented on the video. It meant a lot. It was so fun, like, thinking of answers for these. I would love to do a live video of this one day. I'm just going to look about how to go about that. I've got an iPad here, like here. Maybe I can do it through that somehow. I'm going to look into it and maybe do a live one, but I'm kind of nervous because no one might turn up. But you never know. You never know unless you try, do you? So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I really enjoyed this. I'd love to do it again sometime. Like I said, a live one maybe. If not, maybe one of these again at some point in the future. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to comment down below, I'll reply to you all, I promise. Take it all easy, guys. I'll see you all in the next video.